What's wrong with the server? I don't know.
4 days later.
There was a payment issue with the host due to a misunderstanding. We lost all of the data past January 10th.
Oh, you stupid son of a...
Get off the stage, sweetheart.
Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Downward spiral.
Well, you think this is going to cause a little more anger? The world is an angry place.
That's it. You people have stood in my way long enough. I'm going to Clown College.
How did we get here? How did we get to the point in which the server dies in a giant calamity, filled with anger, confusion, and misunderstanding? Some would say it started not long before it happened. Some would say the process started at the very beginning. One person even dedicated 47 minutes of their life to it. Personally, I'm not sure, but I still remember some things from the short time I had, 1 month before everything fell apart. From testing the war feature, to the iron farm, to server projects, and even bans. This was my last month on the server.
Roll credits.
Near the end of February, I brought a few more friends on the server and showed them around my base while claiming stuff. Suddenly, Henry declared independence from the Ant Empire and Agent Cud joined him as well for the diamonds.
Traitor!
He declared the formation of the nation of Down Under to figure out how the heck the war system works, and we added each other's nations as enemies, but for some reason, we couldn't attack each other or anything. We couldn't even find any guides online.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
As the commotion continued, I got everyone together in one of Selva de Fuego's houses and got one of us to give a little speech. This speech was Abraham Lincoln's inaugural address. It was a beautiful and empowering moment that rallied the people of the Ant Empire together, and just kidding, they didn't read much before stopping. This infuriated me, but I actually didn't care and just kinda let it go. I don't have much from this event other than one clip of Henry stealing the sign from the Grand Columbia Memorial. And also everyone trying to figure out how to get rich.
I have $0.
Wait, how do you get rich in this game? I want to get rich.
Yeah, me too.
Call 1-800-GET-GOOD.
Well, you can get rich if you give your social security number.
Want my social security number? Will I get rich if I give you my credit card number?
Down Under eventually returned with the Ant Empire, and we helped Henry and Agent Cud get more town blocks.
It's like printing my own money. Yeah, what?
On SMPEarth, it was a pain to find any passive mobs anywhere on the server, with all of mine being obtained through purchasing them. Okay, most of them are obtained through purchasing. Okay, maybe a few were paid for. I understood how it was a pain in the neck to obtain any passive mobs on the server, and I decided to start a business where I put a $10,000 voucher in the auction house and people fill out the voucher, then drop it off in a mailbox outside my base.
Well, this is gonna be super easy.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Just a few hours after the first 2 vouchers were put up for sale, they were purchased. I needed to deliver the 2 cows to a town named Detroit, which wasn't in Michigan for some reason. I needed to cross the Caribbean slowly because of a bug with boats. I needed to get into the Mississippi River, but some guy in New Orleans decided to block it off, and then I needed to wait for Towny to stop being downy on top of that. I then needed to get the cows to Detroit and find somewhere to put them. Finally, I needed to do this again. Then, another 2 were bought by Psalmsbury Sam. He kept going back and forth with another similar named player, and they left with the 2 cows I gave them, but also told me to deliver the cows, and things got confusing and the server shutdown made it pointless anyway. To this day, the details are still fuzzy, but I do know that I never delivered any cows to them. Also, at some point I found a skeleton horse and it vanished when I got into my town, because apparently skeleton horses are monsters despite the fact they are peaceful mobs. So yeah, that happened. And also, hang on, what is with that clearing? Well, this clearing here started out so that I could make a structure called the Institute of Agriculture, and so that less people could break into the villager fort. That clearing ended up expanding so I could build more, and as I cleared out more trees so I could build more, I felt like I needed a new project to work on. This is when I realized I never made any sort of map art or pixel art on the server, and decided to recreate one of my favorite map arts I made, the Rainbow map art for my first server. If you want, I can probably make a video about my map art. Anyways, I decided to make a large room for farming sheep. For this expanded sheep farm, I went down to a larger majority dugout, and dug out a 2-chunk area where the sheep would be placed, and moved them all the way down to it. I bred the sheep and colored them to the colors I needed, and after sharing plenty of them, I made a wool chest in the Institute of Agriculture, where I organized them by color. 2 days later, and I finally had all the blocks I needed and got to work. I marked where in the ocean I would place them, with it needing to be not too far from my base, but not too close where it would actually disrupt ocean travel. Over the course of 2 days and taking breaks to work on other stuff, I finished it and made a post on the SMPEarth Discord server showing what I made. I still have that screenshot, used it as a thumbnail for a live stream. Around the same time I also got the iron farm done, so check that off, and a few days later, what the fuck? So, for some reason I also got banned not long after this. The specified reason was major wilderness griefing, which is vague as hell and doesn't say exactly what I did. To this day, I still don't know what I did. Was it the rainbow pixel art that I made that is so small you literally have to know where exactly it is to see it? Was it the tree clearing that was right on my town border? If it was the tree clearing, that's a dangerous precedent. What was it? Nobody knows. For a week though, I had to sit down and wait for myself to be unbanned with town members needed to join every now and then to run basic maintenance. At the end of the week though, I got back on and got back to what I was already doing in the clearing. Now, you might wonder, what is going on in that clearing? Well, within there lies nothing yet, but after a little bit of terraforming, it was flatter, and I began buying town blocks to claim it, in case it was the reason I got banned. Can't get mad at me for griefing in the wilderness if I own it. I began to replace the dirt with grass, move some plants out of it, and laid the foundation for a recreation of the Hackere Shrine, with me even installing schematica for it. At one point, while making the preparations, one player rolled up in a skin very similar to Pop Bob, saying, "We do a little trolling." I shoot him away and went quartz mine to acquire currency so I can purchase more town blocks and claim it. The pieces were in place, and I was ready to get building on a project I was looking forward to for a while. Then, an incident of grand proportion occurred. A shaking of the earth that would be felt for months and still leave a lingering effect to this day. A catastrophic event in server history that shall never be forgotten by the player base. To this day, I'm not sure how many people have forgiven him. RPS, forgetting to pay the bills.
You never try to make things better.
Fuck out of here!
All you ever do is complain.
However, a few months later, things did begin to look up on the server, as in May 2021, SMPEarth Alpha was opened. That lasted about a month.
But I honestly like how the ugly dolls look in real life.
On June 24th, 2021, it was announced that SMPEarth will be coming back officially on July 1st, 2021. Everyone was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief, as now the server was officially back. Well, except for maybe Factions fans.
I should be happy with someone new, but my heart aches for you.
And that was my story from the old SMPEarth Towny server. There were still some smaller details that I left out, like the actual process that was building the mob grinder, where I was originally going to build my base, just for that to not work out, the profitability of quartz mining, and even how and why I ended up in South America. Anyways, that is about it for Tales from Old SMPEarth. Not much has really happened on the new server to warrant a video. I hope you all enjoyed this series, and maybe I'll make more videos in this style. I have more in the future, and if you have played on SMPEarth, what is your story from the old server?